the fitness industry overall is plenty developed, and there's a lot of new exciting things going on. And I think you just have to listen and learn and take what you can out of that and apply it to your own business.
You're listening to the Aerial Hour, episode number 12. The Aerial Hour is a traveling podcast where I interview aerial entrepreneurs from all corners of our industry on how they grow and sustain their businesses. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Aerial Hour. First off, I just want to say thank you for your patience so much. I have been traveling and working a lot over the last couple of weeks and just wasn't able to get out an episode. So I really appreciate your patience as I'm learning to navigate all the things. We have been traveling, like I mentioned. We went from staying in the middle of Florida to heading over to Atlanta and then making a quick stop in Alabama to see family. And then we went back to Florida and then we went over to New Orleans and now we are back in North Florida. So we've done quite the trip. Anywho, you're here for an interview, so let me go ahead and give that to you. This week's episode features Hsiang Jones of Queen of Hearts Fitness in Tallahassee, Florida. I have been dying to share this episode with you all, and I'm so glad that it's finally complete. Hsiang knows how to run her business. She continues to offer her students value by engaging them with fun challenges that benefit everyone. She also works with the community to bring her queens out to society and society to her queens. Additionally, she's a fabulous instructor, has insane amount of energy, and her cat is the coolest thing ever. I'll be posting a picture in the show notes. If you want to know more about this particular episode, you can head over to theaerialhour.com and check out the show notes. Also, while you're there, check out the special link that I have to Jeannie and Jade's Etsy shop. If you don't know who Jeannie and Jade is, you need to look them up on Instagram right now. Let's actually do it together. Going on Instagram. This is my Instagram song. Do. Here we go. Jeannie and Jade. It's all one word. We're doing it together. Okay, so Jeannie and Jade is a pole-inspired design line created by Kristen Marina out of Orlando, Florida. Kristen creates all different kinds of designs, everything from t-shirts, bags, water bottles, and my personal favorite right now, Valentine's Day cards. Because who doesn't want a Valentine's Day card with a pole dancer on it? Like, somebody please send me one. Anyways, I wanted to give her a shout out because I think the designs she creates are really fun. I actually have a shirt from Lotus, which is in Orlando, which she created. And it is one of my personal faves because all I want to do right now is live in pole wear. This is not a paid ad or anything. I just think, again, she creates some really fun stuff and I love her work and she seems like a really great person. She posts fantastic content in her stories, so if you're not watching them, you're really missing out. So again, head over to her Instagram, give her a follow, check out her Etsy store, do all the things, and send your favorite pole dancer a Valentine's Day card. Anyways, I think I've covered everything for this episode, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. I'll see you guys later. Bye! Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Aerial Hour. Today I'm in Tallahassee and joined by Hsiang of Queen of Hearts Studio. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm sore. You hurt me last night. You hurt me bad.
But in a good way, right?
Yes, in the best ways. Last night I came to 2 classes. I was supposed to come to 3, but by the second one I was dead. I took my first ever cardio class, I think of my life, and just had a really, really good time. And now my leg muscles starting to hurt. I'm going to start feeling it tomorrow.
I'm sore too. So.
Yeah, are you?
Yes,
because you look like you were just like killing it.
It's magical teacher energies. They just come upon you sometimes.
They do indeed. Thank God for that, because I don't know how you kept going. You were like, we'd end one song. This was your work and twerk class, correct?
Yes.
And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a dance cardio class. It does use some moves inspired by twerk, but overall it's just to dance and have fun, sort of like Zumba, where you do the same choreography to the same songs.
Yeah. And every time one song would end, I'd be like, are we going to take a break? And then she'd be like, then let's go into the next song. And I'd die a little bit, but it was really
water
good.
breaks.
Yes, you do. And it was so much fun. Like, I'm terrible. I have no rhythm at all, but like, I had such a blast. I think I was just smiling the entire time. And you made the class so fun. I just had a great time. The girls in the class were awesome. And I also got to take a floor flow class with you. And I'm very rusty, but it was so fun.
Yes, you killed it.
Oh, that's sweet and untrue, but sweet. We did a move at the end with our legs. I'm gesturing of doing it.
That one.
It's like when your legs are open and you're laying on your side. I'll post a video and you kind of
It's like you're having
twerk
sex
your
with
knees.
the air a little bit. Yeah.
I went home and did that for my husband.
Perfect.
He was like, this is what you learned. Oh, yeah. So, yes, I'm in Tallahassee, and we are sitting in your incredible space. This is your second studio space, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And how long have you been in this space for?
Almost 2 years in December.
That's crazy. And how long have you been open total for?
We just had our 5-year anniversary in June, so a little over 5 years. Thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
How did you find the aerial community?
Well, when I first started pole, there was a studio on Tennessee Street. So if you're familiar with Tallahassee at all, it's near the college, and I was just going to college. And I was looking for a place to get my workout on, and they had this open house with a variety of other classes. And pole was one of the classes I tried, and I immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah. And when was that?
That was in 2009. So it's my 10-year pole anniversary this year.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. So from the first moment you were like in love?
Yes. I made my roommate go with me at the time, and she wasn't as about it as I was. But I definitely felt like I had to have it in my life, because when I was a kid, I always wanted to do dance or gymnastics, and my parents never put me in that. So this felt like that creative combination of athletic and dance as well.
Yeah.
So I really took to it.
Yeah. How long was it before you decided, like, I want to do this for my career?
Well, I kind of always had an idea of, it might be fun to have my own place.
Yeah.
Not really knowing what all would go into it. But throughout my whole time at FSU, I went to school here, I always thought it would be interesting, but didn't think I would actually do it until one day the studio owner came to me and said, hey, I'm closing. And I thought, oh no, where are we all going to pole dance?
Yeah.
And at the time I had met someone who was also working with me at that studio, and we just decided, well, let's just open a pole studio.
Wow. And when was that? 2014?
That was at the end of 2013. The studio closed, and we started planning for it, and then we opened in June 2014.
Okay, so it took you a little more than 6 months?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
about 6 months to get things going and open the doors.
Wow, that seems so fast, so impressive.
Yeah, I feel like it probably was a little bit faster than normal, because we did know the people from the studio, so we had instructors who were ready to teach, and finding a space, we got lucky with a place that was kind of already built out for a dance studio. So,
and how did you find that space?
I think I just got on Google.
Yeah.
I Google everything.
Yeah.
And I just started looking for commercial spaces for lease, and started calling a few places, and met people who clearly had no interest in renting to us, because 2 young females, why would they trust us?
Okay.
I was 22 when we started, so that was what happened. But finally we did find someone who was interested in having us. So.
Okay. And you were in that space for how long?
3 years.
Okay. So when you were first building, and you had already somewhat of a client base, how did you market your business to new people?
I would say that a lot of our marketing happens through word of mouth and through referrals. Outside of that, the most that we do is probably go to different events. There's a thing that happens every year called What Women Want, and it's a big expo that one of the radio stations here puts on. So that's super fun. We set up the pole, have a little table there. So we'll do different tabling events like that or performances out in the town. Those would probably be our most used strategies, I would say, and social media.
Right.
But other than that, we haven't done much of other stuff, I guess.
That's great. When you first opened, did you just offer pole classes or did you offer different types of classes? Because there are so many different types of classes here now.
Yeah, when we first opened, we had 2 rooms. So we had a pole room and a group fitness room, and we did offer too many different types of classes. And what we found over the years is it's been better when we really narrow it down to the classes that fit in with our specialty. We like to market it as all of our classes here in the main floor, or what we call our work it out classes, or even the other dance it out choreography classes.
Okay.
They all go to make you a stronger pole dancer or more flexible, more graceful, whatever it is.
Okay.
But that is also another way for us to market to people who might not be ready for pole.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a conservative area here.
Right.
So sometimes they do have to come in and just dip their toes in the water. We have had members who will start in the group fitness classes, such as booty ballet is one of our more popular classes.
Yes.
Or fit and flexi. And then eventually, even after being members for months or even a year or more, they'll eventually branch out and try the pole classes.
Yeah.
So we have had people move into the pole space
Right.
like that. But we did start with a variety of classes.
Okay. How long was it before you guys narrowed it down to be more focused?
I would say after 2 years or so, we probably noticed that it wasn't quite sticking.
Okay.
There were people who would just come and do the group fitness classes, and we wanted it to be a more cohesive program. So by choosing the classes that people who took pole also took out on the main floor, that was a good way to pick which classes were doing the best and stick with those ones.
That makes a lot of sense. During that first year of business, were there any like major struggles that you faced?
I'd say it's all a struggle.
Still,
yeah. There's always something new to learn and different challenges to face. But I think the exciting part is once you overcome something and move forward, you can keep looking forward to overcoming more challenges. So in the beginning, I think it was just how to even run a business, what to do. I had no background in owning a business. I had barely just graduated college, So it's definitely been a learning adventure.
So how did you figure that stuff out?
Google.
Yeah.
I Google everything. But luckily, I've had a lot of people in my life who are just good mentors, different friends, and I can just ask their opinions on different stuff. If I need help, I'll try to look into who is an expertise in that field and maybe reach out to them and see what they have to say. It is a different field, so it's been interesting to hear other people's comments on how they would do it in a different industry and try to translate that to what would work well for us.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Being in Tallahassee, you're in a college town. Do you see members come from the college?
Yes, we do have a lot of college students, and I guess that works to our advantage and a disadvantage at the same time, because we do have new people all the time, but at the same time, it's sad when they grow with us over their couple years in town and then they have to leave and move away. It's always sad to see them go. But it's exciting that we got to help change a part of their life while they were here in town.
I love the names of your classes. They're so much fun. How did you go about developing your curriculum and naming your classes when you first opened?
Well, pole, I guess we just like to keep simple since it's pole level 1, pole level 2, etc. But I guess whatever the name of the class is has to do with what is the focus of the class. So floor and flow is really just focusing on floor work and flowing through the moves, making them as smooth as possible. Work and twerk, you're twerking a little, but you're working a lot. So that made sense. Booty ballet, I don't really know. I guess that one, it had some moves inspired by ballet type training.
Okay.
And booty ballet, I don't know where that one came from actually.
So
but it
cool,
just kind of
though.
stuck.
Yeah.
And people really enjoy that class.
Yeah.
It's a little similar to a bar class, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I will say, actually, we did used to have more creative names, but we found that that was just confusing to people. And sometimes it's easiest to keep it simple, like upper body, lower body,
Right,
core
right,
and more.
Right. Do you find that you have about half and half people going to both classes now?
I would say that most people go to both, but there is still a small percentage of people who only go to pole classes, or on the opposite end, only go to the group fitness classes.
Okay.
But again, they're still branching out at some point.
Right.
For example, we've had a lady who's been doing pole for maybe a year now, and recently we did a free lit boxing. Okay, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
But lit boxing was just because it's going to be lit. It's basically a cardio kickboxing class.
Okay.
And we did a free class at one of the bars in town, just an outdoor class to get people to come and get moving. And it was actually perfect weather for that. It was finally chilly here and not dying hot outside. But she came and she actually really liked it. And normally she only does pole classes.
Okay.
So,
what a cool way to get out. You went to a bar and did that?
yeah, it's this little bar. They have a big patio area with porch lights. It's a super cute area. And they asked us to do a class outside. So we did it Saturday at 11 a.m. People could come in, do the lit boxing. It was 30 minutes lit boxing followed by 30 minutes core and more. So we did a fun class out there. And then afterwards, they actually have little frozen slushy. They call like adult Capri Suns.
Okay.
So then it encourages people to support local, grab a drink, grab some food. They have a really good macaroni shop inside, and they just use all different types of stuff inside of it. So it's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I know where I'm going for dinner. It sounds incredible. That I really like the way that you get out with the community. I imagine that brings both people from your studio out to the normal world, you know, to be a part of that, as well as bringing new clients in different ways. I also see that you guys do open houses. Is it like annually? Do you do an open house?
We do it usually twice a year.
Okay.
So once in January, because new year, everybody wants to work out, get fit. And then also in September, we do a fall open house. And because this is such a big college community, whenever the students come back in town, that's a good way to get them to come check out the space as well.
That makes a lot of sense. And do you see any additional benefits by working with the community? Do you build partnerships with different bars or different organizations that also help give you more visibility? Yeah,
I would say it's definitely beneficial to work with the local community. It helps the local businesses, and it also gets our clients and our community to bond with each other, as well as bringing in new people and just showing them different areas of Tallahassee.
Yeah.
So I think that the community aspect is really important, not just supporting local, but also giving back to different charities. We have done a few events where we support local charities, so every year for our anniversary, we usually donate to a charity of some sort.
Yes. And that's like a yearly thing that you guys do.
Yeah, I would say for the past probably at least 4 out of the 5 years, we've donated to a charity for our anniversary.
And why for your anniversary?
Because it's a celebratory event and it's fun, and it just helps us give back. It's a good time to give back since we're celebrating ourselves. Honestly, we wouldn't be here without the community, and Queen of Hearts is really made up by the community and the people who are here and the people who are locally supporting us, and we just want to give back to them.
That's incredible. I love when pole dancing or aerial studio owners incorporate this into charity, because this is such an entertaining thing to watch. It's so easy to combine the two and make money for people. What are some of the charities that you've donated? We talked about them earlier, and there are a lot.
Yeah, so this past year for our 5-year anniversary, we donated to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Before that, last year, the 4-year, we donated to Planned Parenthood, and the 3-year, we did a local charity, Girls to Divas. And that one was super fun because we did a show out at one of the local bars here, and it was a whole big event called the Tallahassee Top Singles. And that one, I know you had asked me before about different benefits that were kind of unexpected. That one I got to perform pole at the Civic Center. So that was a good way to just show kind of Tallahassee and the community what pole is and just a chance to bring it out there. But aside from them, we've done Second Harvest of the Big Bend whenever we do the turkey drive. We've gone out for Habitat for Humanity, building the houses together with the different queens. So it's been fun.
When you say you're talking about your team, correct?
Yes.
You guys do this as a team.
Yes, different team building events. So not just staff, but also clients. So sometimes when we do these things, we usually invite everybody, all queens. Whatever queens want to come out and do these things with us, they're more than welcome to.
That's incredible. That's such a nice way to engage with both communities.
Yes,
I really admire that. You also do an incredible job of marketing your business to your clients themselves. You constantly run promotions, and I am obsessed with them. Like, let's just talk about a couple of them. What's the one that you're running right now?
Are you talking about referring to the challenges?
Yes, the challenge.
Okay, yeah. So right now we call it the Holla Slay Challenge. But their goal with this challenge is to come to the studio 3 days a week for all of November and December, except for the 4th week, which we are closed for majority of those days. And on that week, they have a list of tasks that they can choose from, whether that's sharing a photo on social media and tagging us or telling us about their first class or experience, just different tasks like that. And if they complete the challenge, if they complete 4 out of the 8 rows, they'll get a little prize, which is a decal. And then the big one for this challenge is going to be a Queen Life duffel bag. So they're pretty excited about that.
I'm excited about that. I can't even complete it, but that's so great. How do you come up with these ideas?
I think it's just brainstorming with the team. Sometimes whenever we get together, we talk about how can we engage our clients more? I know a lot of people are always focused on bringing in new clients, but I think it's just as important to focus on the retention aspect and how you can provide value to those clients. So we try to think about ways to make it fun. Our word of the year for this year has been value. So we've been trying to do that for our clients. And one of those ways is by giving them challenges, because it's kind of like a game. When you gamify it, you want to participate, and there's a fun prize, and it also gets you moving. And our classes have been so busy because of the challenges.
I'm sure, and it's beneficial for everybody involved. The clients come in, they're more active, you're filling up classes, and then they feel like I'm sure you guys both feel like you've accomplished something when you get to sign off their card, and you feel like, oh, this idea worked.
And not to mention, it's also good promotions for our studio in studio and outside of the studio whenever they're posting on social media. So our last challenge before this one was called the Pole Trick or Treat Challenge. So they got a punch card with 12 classes, and if they did 12 pole classes, not including open pole, because sometimes when you go to open pole, you just sit there. We know their tricks. But so once you complete the 12 classes, you get a shirt. I don't know if you saw them at the front, but yeah, it says "This Witch Rides a Pole."
Yes.
And one of our staff members actually drew that. And,
really?
She drew the witch on the pole, and then one of my other friends who also designs our shirts, she put that into shirt format and made it really awesome.
It is super awesome.
Thank you. But so once they complete that, they get the shirt. But along the way, for every pole class they took, they got to trick or treat out of a bag, and there would be different tasks. So either they would get a treat, which would be, we have different goodies like decals, pop sockets, different things like that, 10% off coupons. And they would either get that, or they would get no trick or treat, go to your next class, or they would get a trick, which wasn't actually a trick, but it would be a task such as nominate a queen of the month, share a queen moment. So we have a little board where they can put different accomplishments that they've achieved, whether that's, oh, I climbed the pole for the first time, or I went upside down for the first time, I did my back bend for the first time. They're encouraged to put those up there. And sometimes it's easy to forget about. So when you incorporate those little tasks, what do you want your clients to do? How do you want them to interact? And use that in your challenges, then it's another good way of building community and just promoting that positivity.
Yeah, that's so innovative.
Thank you.
It seems so simple, like these ideas, but I'm sure that they take a lot of time to put together.
Yeah.
When you also celebrate the number of classes that they come to too. So when they hit, what is it, 100, 500, and 1,000?
100, 250, 500,
250.
and 1,000.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that is a new thing that we released a couple weeks ago. We call it Queens 100. Once they take 100 classes at the studio, then they'll get an email that lets them know that they've made this awesome accomplishment, and they can come to the front desk for a little surprise, which is a commemorative pin. And they also get to wear a sash that says Queens 100, and we have a mirror that says objects in the mirror are stronger than they appear, and the sash is printed backwards, so they have to take a selfie in it. So
I am obsessed with all of that. It's just so thoughtful. And again, it's adding that value so that they feel that extra tangible accomplishment.
Right.
And you also do that for levels, correct?
Yes. So for our pole program, our levels are the same way, where once you graduate from the level, you'll also get a little pin and a certificate that says that you've accomplished this level. And really, it's all about the clients and what can you do to make them feel like they've been successful in taking classes with you.
Yeah.
And that's what we were going for with all these little things that we've been adding.
And I got to see the pins and they're so cute. Yes. And you were saying that people are like putting them on their bags and I really love something that you can hold in your hand and be like, I did this.
Right, because every time you look at it, you feel good. Like, wow, I earned that.
Yeah, it's like a brownie patch from Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
You also do Queen of the Month. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have a little box in the lounge area where they can nominate a Queen of the Month. And a Queen of the Month can be anyone that they've seen in the studio who's working extra hard, is super dedicated. Maybe they're just very encouraging or friendly, whatever it may be. They can nominate that person and put the reason why. And each month we post about a Queen of the Month. We'll ask them a few questions and see maybe what their favorite class is, just kind of their story here, what they do outside of working out, just to get to know them a little better.
That just warms my heart. Everything that you do seems equally professional, but like creating this family. And I think that's really, really unique. I'm just in Florida, but I don't know if I've seen these type of promotions in pole studios. And I think I imagine it really helps drive people to come in.
Yeah, I would say it's been an exciting part of everyone's journeys here, coming in and knowing that everyone is supporting them the whole way. And we're not just saying it, but we're actually trying to show them through different means and methods of showing their successes and their accomplishments. And we also like to share that on social media too. I know recently we posted about Queens 1000, which 3 of our queens since we've opened in 2014 have taken over 1,000 classes. And that's not including open pole or other late cancels or missed classes either. So that is very impressive.
That is insanely impressive.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I've seen other pole studios do this as well, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it.
Yes.
It's a really great way to build that community and just show your clients and your students that they are appreciated and that you're proud of them.
Yeah, I think it's unexpected. I think that's like the best way to make your business unique is find things that somebody's not expecting. So you don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to create these promotions. You don't have to create these prizes for accomplishments, but that extra is what sets you apart and what makes people want to refer to you so that you don't have to do as much marketing, because that's like the best way to market your business is Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, you can also think of it as marketing, because once you give them the bag, they're going to wear it everywhere. Once you give them the shirt, they wear it everywhere.
So proud.
So it is marketing.
It's definitely marketing. Yes. It's so great. And then you also have like, you have a gang sign. I'm just gonna gang sign. We're doing it, but it's like a heart. I'll post a picture of it. But it's like a heart, and then fingers up, so it's a crown, Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
This unintentional branding is everything, and it's so subtle but so important because it makes you rememberable. I think you're very, very thoughtful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and the brand is something that was really important to me when opening as well. I remember brainstorming names for so long, and I just couldn't think of what exactly I wanted it to be. And finally, when I heard this one, I think me and my friend were chatting on Facebook. Yeah, my friend and I were chatting on Facebook, and this one popped up, and this was it. I just knew it was right. And even, with the logo and stuff, it was a very specific process of narrowing down what felt right and what is a part of the brand. And I think that's really important in building your brand, is knowing exactly what you want from your brand, what your mission is, what your values are. And then you're able to ingrain that into every little thing you do, all the little details throughout the day, whether that's how you interact with your clients or what you're providing them. It all makes a difference when you put those values into the brand.
Absolutely. Do you have any tips for somebody that's trying to work on their brand?
Yeah, so the first thing I think is understanding what your mission is, and then carving out your values. Like for us, acceptance, empowerment, positivity, community, those are all really important factors for us. And then also making sure your team understands that, and then that your team is bringing that into their classes and everything they do, because people don't look at you just as an instructor when you're here, but also outside of this. How are you acting? How are you treating people? How are you going about your life on a daily basis?
Absolutely.
So I think that once you clarify your mission and make sure that your team is on the same page as you, then you'll be able to trickle that down into all the clients as well.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your team, because you have a great team.
They're amazing.
Instructors. And so how many instructors do you have? And then do you have people who are just working like the front desk, or how does that work?
So currently we have 11 instructors.
Incredible.
And how much they teach just varies on what this is to them. Some people only have time to teach 1 or 2 classes a week, and some people, this is what they do, this is what they love. They teach upwards of 10 or more classes a week. Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know how they do that, but I'm glad that they do it.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 part-time front desk receptionists who are amazing and help out.
Yes. Amazing. Do you do a lot of training with your front desk staff?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
It shows.
Thank you.
Zaria last night, as soon as people were walking in, knew people's first name, checking them in, so sweet, and answered any question that I had. Yeah, no, she is amazing. And it feels like I feel like maybe I'm like kind of looking for those things when I'm walking in. So I'm like noticing them more. I'm sure most people don't notice that as much, but like you had to have done some training to like customer service is everything.
Oh, yes.
Making people feel, especially in an environment like this, you have to make people feel safe from the moment they walk in.
Right. And here we want to treat everyone like royalty, treat them like the queens that they are. Yes. So anytime, whether it's an instructor or a front desk staff, one of our first things that we do during training is talk about the brand and what's expected from them as a staff member and how they treat their clients here. So we do a lot of training with the front desk, starting with that, and then going into the different actual operational stuff that they have to do, because all of that most people can learn,
right?
But the hard part is having that personality for it and making everybody feel warm and welcome, because especially as front desk, when people walk in, you're the first person they see. So making them feel comfortable, especially when so many people, it's so hard to even get them to a new gym or a new dance studio or whatever it is. It could be a struggle for them to get here. And once they get here, you just want to acknowledge that and make sure that they feel warm and welcomed.
Well, I think you do an amazing job training them because that's instantly
Thank you.
the exact feeling that I got. How do you find these people?
A lot of our staff members are students, so they're only here for a short time, and it's sad
Right.
to see them go.
Yeah.
But again, it's amazing the work that we put in together to see how they help our studio and our brand grow and how we help them as well. So even though they have to go away most of the time, it is still an exciting journey and it's something to look forward to. But we do have a lot of students. Luckily, some of the ones that we have now are not students, so
Okay.
hopefully they're not leaving
Yeah.
anytime soon. But usually our instructors come from either in-house
Okay.
or we have one of our instructors is or used to be in the FSU School of Dance.
Okay.
So just through different connections,
Right.
networking, moving down the chain, we've happened to find these amazing people who are great at what they do.
Yeah.
Whenever we're looking for a front desk associate, we usually send out an email and we'll even single out people who have been here before because I
Okay.
do like to have people who are familiar with the community, who enjoy this atmosphere,
Right.
and already kind of know what they're stepping
Yeah.
into.
I like that a lot. You guys also offer some unique workshops, one being an injury prevention, and then the other was a pole choreo. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
what's that about?
Yeah, so the injury prevention workshop, we had a local PT who actually started renting our old space.
Really?
That's how I found him. I saw that there was this place in that space and I looked it up and he happened to be a PT and I went to see him. And after that, we decided to have an event here just so people could come in and see what he had to say, see how their injuries might be unrelated to what they're thinking of. Because a lot of times people just think, oh, I need to just keep stretching and stretching and stretching. And sometimes that's not the way to
Right.
go. So it was good to just have him explain a little bit more about that. And I know previously we did a maximizing your workout workshop.
Okay.
And in that one, since group fitness is kind of hard to go around to each person individually and always correct their form or spend a lot of time with each person, this workshop was a little bit more about helping people individually and correcting their technique for the different
Okay.
exercises that they're commonly doing so that whenever they go into the class, they can get the most out of their workout then at that point. And the pole choreo and transitions, I know our girls here are very strong and very good at their tricks. And sometimes they need a little extra help putting together their own routines and coming up with choreography. So with that workshop, we explored a little bit of how to start coming up with your own stuff. And that I feel like comes from a lot of just exploration
Yeah.
and freestyle.
Right.
But having something to work off of was important. And it was just nice to have them experience that instead
Yeah.
of just always coming to class and learning a routine.
Right. Do you find that your clients are receptive to these type of workshops and want to come in and learn about these things?
Yeah, for sure. Usually we will do a little survey or ask them what they're interested in, or if we had this workshop, who would attend, that type of thing. We'll also give different dates, do a poll this day or this day,
Okay.
and see what works better for them. So usually we do have pretty full workshops. I would
Okay,
say.
so do you do these surveys by email or like do you have a Facebook group or?
Yeah, we do have a private Facebook
Okay.
group for our members, and sometimes we'll just pop in little questions in there
Okay.
casually.
Yeah.
But we also do end of the year type surveys that we'll send by email just to check in, see how everything's going. They can rate their instructors, rate everything at the studio, and it's important feedback that I think all studio owners should get and also listen to.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, but
Yeah, right.
they're your
right.
clients talking to you.
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, I imagine that's fun to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it's mostly heartwarming, but
Right.
yeah, how did you think of all this? This is so impressive to me because again, I don't see this everywhere. And it feels like not that it feels like complex, but it feels like so thorough. My brain just doesn't work that way.
I think everything has sort of accumulated over the years because when we first opened, we obviously didn't have all these little cool pins for graduations and that type of stuff. But I think it is important just to learn when you can. I try to go to as many business and fitness conferences as possible.
Okay.
And even though the pole industry isn't that developed, the fitness industry overall is plenty developed, and there's a lot of new exciting things going on. And I think you just have to listen and learn and take what you can out of that and apply it to your own business. So a lot of that stuff, I would say I've probably seen in a different industry and then decided to put it into our business and see how we could use that to move forward.
I get it. That's so smart. It's just really impressive your consistency over the years. Again, I'm from St. Pete and you're in Tallahassee. So Pole for a Purpose, Bad to the Chrome, all of these shows I've seen you guys come down and do. And then I've followed Queen of Hearts for like years. But I see these things constantly, consistently for years now that you've been doing. And like you said, I guess it has accumulated. But talking about it in this like 1 hour time period, it's so impressive. I hope you like recognize your whether you're getting it from somewhere else or not. Like I didn't make up the idea to do an entrepreneur podcast. Some guy was doing an RV entrepreneur podcast and I was like, we could use this,
Right.
But it's like having the enough sense to like be like, oh, this could work here as well. I hope people listen to this and start doing these things because like you were saying at the very beginning, retaining your clients is just as important, if not more.
Yes.
Then
I would say even more important.
Even more, because that's like longevity. If you have
Right.
loyal clients,
Right.
you just continue to grow with them.
Yeah. And I think longevity is something that a lot of people don't think about in the business, when you're struggling and, oh, this month's down, let's run a sale. But I think you have to think about how that impacts you in the long run and come up with a plan or a strategy to be able to stick it out longer than just, for that short period of time.
Yeah. Oh, such good information. Listen to this, everybody. So you teach only on Mondays, is that correct?
Yes.
And why is that? Why do you have all these instructors and everything? Why are you only teaching 1 day a week?
I choose to teach 1 day a week, so the other days I'm able to focus on other parts of the business. And I love teaching, don't get me wrong. I do love so much of it, but I also get really engulfed in whatever I'm doing. So if I am teaching for more days a week, I like to spend a lot of time planning my classes, making sure the music's right, the warm-up's right, the content is good. All of that stuff would just get me carried away a lot. So to limit that for myself, I put all my classes on Mondays. Right now, I only teach 3 on Mondays, but that gives me more time to focus on other aspects of the business on the other days.
That is so important. I feel like I really admire you for that because teaching is so fun. It's like it fills you up in like a way that nothing else will ever fill me up. And
Right.
and I get so much. You're giving so much, but you get so much back from it. And like I imagine that's probably the most fun thing that you get to do in your business.
It's interesting because I didn't know that I would enjoy the business side so much, but I do. And I think that's the challenge for me is where should I focus my time? I really love teaching. I want to be a better teacher, but also I really love running the other side of things and coming up with different creative ideas and seeing how we can be better as a business. Because at the end of the day, yes, this is a hobby, but we need to look at it like it's a business, just like every other industry.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, well, when I first started, I definitely was teaching a little bit more, but luckily I do have a lot of really good instructors who are super passionate about teaching as well. And I guess part of where I get my teaching joy now is teaching them. So in the past, when we've had to look for new instructors, we kind of do them at the same time. So it might be 3 or 4 people at once, and they'll go through an instructor training process. And that fills me up just as much as teaching an actual class, and seeing those instructors grow and be better teachers. So, starting from the first day that they co-teach or do a mini warm-up or whatever it is, and then seeing them progress throughout the months and the years, it is really heartwarming to see them be amazing.
I really, really appreciate that you do set aside the time to focus on your business, and as much fun as that is, and that you are able to enjoy this side of it. Because I think if you don't, this can really overwhelm you, the business side.
Oh yes, it's frequently it's frequently overwhelming.
Right.
But
And I don't think most students, I know I've said this before, but I think we come into these spaces and they're here. So in our minds, they've always been here and it's always running, and, the doors are always open on time and things are always stocked, and nobody really considers what's happening to make all of that happen.
Yeah, my favorite is when people ask me, what do you do during the day when you're not teaching classes? So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, but
so much.
It is worth it. I work a lot, but it doesn't feel like work, So
that's the best way to do it. I feel like that's like a life hack. Like, find something that doesn't feel like work that'll pay you to do it.
Yeah.
I do want to talk to you about the scheduling software that you use. I feel like I'm part of a couple of like studio owner groups on Facebook, and I feel like I constantly see questions about what software do you use and how do you like it. So I'm going to start asking people, what scheduling software do you use and why?
I use MindBody. When I first started off, I didn't know of many other ones, and that was what I was familiar with. So I looked into it. I did compare, obviously, anytime I choose a new software, I'll compare each one and see what I feel like would be best for my business. I know a lot of people have had some negative feelings on MindBody, but for our business, I do think it is a very capable program and a very capable software. You just definitely have to take the time to invest into it and learn how to use it. I've never spent more hours on the phone with anyone as MindBody tech support. So sometimes you'll get lucky and get someone who really knows their shit, and sometimes you just got to hang up and call back and wait all over again.
Okay.
But
that's a good tip, though.
Yeah. So that is a little unfortunate, but I will say that for all the functionality that we need, and it's so easy just to have everything that we do in one place. So bringing everything out at the front desk, being able to run reports on the business, which is important, and scheduling our classes. It's been easy for us, and I've stuck to it because I haven't been frustrated enough to a point where I wanted to switch. And on top of that, I have invested a lot of time into learning the program.
Right. So it totally works for your needs, your specific needs. And we didn't really talk about, but you do have kind of like a boutique out here.
Yeah, a little retail area.
Yeah, and there's shirts and different grips and all kinds of items. So MindBody really works well for that.
Yep. We just add in our different products, put the price. We have a barcode scanner. You just scan the thing, or you can search the item if you didn't have a scanner, and then it just rings it out.
Nice. Very easy. Very, very easy. The other question that I see pop up a lot is insurance. How did you find your insurance?
I Googled for different insurance areas, and I found someone local who I worked with to be able to find our insurance company.
Okay.
So he took care of all of the things.
And that's easy for you to handle, no issues?
Yep, no problem. Just every year I renew it, and that's it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get to talk about fun things. Let's talk about your cat. Tell me about your cat.
Well, I have a cat named Coconut. He is a big, white, fluffy ball of fur that looks like a toasted coconut. He's a little chunky. Took him to the vet recently, and he's over 16 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
And
he's loved.
I know. I was like, does he need to lose some weight? And she goes, and hand gestures how wide he is and just kind of nods and is like, yeah. So that's Coconut, but he's got blue eyes and his curly tail is very strange. You'll have to post a picture.
I will.
His fur is also in a spiral shape like his tail,
So
and
cool.
I don't know why he's like that, but he is.
He's special. That's why.
He's very special. He sometimes comes to work with me.
And he plays fetch. And
he's basically like a dog. He plays fetch. He does different tricks like circle, sit, high five, ring the bell. And he has his own stroller that I push him around in. Sometimes I take him to the bar with me.
Yeah, I love it. And then I feel like, I don't know if it's a passion of yours or not, but like your group routines, like holy amaze balls.
Oh my God.
Most recently, let's talk about Pull for a Purpose and the twerk pyramid. Like that, I think that along with what we learned last night, the leg thing, those two things are my most favorite things in my entire life. Seeing, like, just watching it in person. I was lucky enough to be there. And you guys are like, first off, you did a costume change midway through the routine.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's like a whole nother thing. But then you guys came back out and everybody's like dancing and twerking. And then you start to see like girls climb up, one girl climb up the pole, the other girl climb up the pole, and then like pyramid building. So how many people was it in each pyramid? Was it like 10 or 6?
3, 4, 5.
I don't know how to do math.
Well, there were 6 people actually doing the twerk pyramid on each side, but there were 2, I guess, back spots in each pyramid.
Okay.
So I think total girls, we had 17 in that routine. But it's funny because our old choreographer, and she was one of my best friends. She had been with us ever since Art of the Catwalk days. That was the old studio I went to. She moved back home to be an adult and work a real job. But she used to choreograph all the routines, and it's funny because she used to sit there with me and try to get me to hear the 8 count, and I just could not hear it. And when she left, I was in a panic, like, oh no, how am I supposed to choreograph these group routines when I can't even hear an 8 count? But, you know, when you got to do it, something about my brain just, all right, we doing it, we going full out.
Yes.
So the year before this year was the first routine that I had to choreograph for Pull for a Purpose. And then the one this year with the twerk pyramid, that one was super fun.
That was so much fun. It's so cool. And then there was one year you did a song where it was like yoga, something about yoga.
Oh yeah, that was our first group performance.
That was
at Pull for a
so
Purpose.
much fun. I was watching that the other night. Your group routines, always look forward to them.
Thank you.
They're so
most
well done.
recently we did a Halloween showcase. We called it the Halloween Showcase in town. And our instructors, there were 6 of us in the group, and we did a fun alien routine. I think that one was maybe one of my favorite group routines that we've done. It was it was so easy to work with all instructors, and I don't recommend waiting till last minute, but we got it together in basically a week. So if you haven't seen that one, I would say go check that one out.
I saw it. It was fantastic. I was invaded. It was so great.
Perfect.
Yes. So now I want to ask you, what is your favorite performance that you've ever done?
Well, maybe from last year, either my performance from the Florida Pole Fitness Championship or Dance Filthy. Both of those. Last year, I had the honor of judging and guest performing at the Florida Pole Fitness Championship and Dance Filthy. So it was fun to get back on stage because I hadn't been performing in a while since I've been doing all of the business side of things. But it was just nice to get back on stage, and I definitely think my style has evolved over the past 10 years. And it was interesting to see my routines from then versus a few years ago. And yeah. I am obsessed with all your performances, but my favorite of yours was your Dance Filthy performance from last year. It was so good. I was showing my husband. He was like, okay, she can move. What is your favorite performance right now of someone else? Oh.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, I don't know. I recently went to Dance Filthy when I
Yeah.
saw you.
Yes.
And all of those were just so good. It was, I don't know if I have a favorite.
That's okay.
Yeah,
so
it was,
Dance Filthy is your favorite.
yeah, because it's the most recent one I've been to, and that was just super fun. I will say the most inspiring performance
Yes.
I've seen in person of all time was at one of the pole conventions. Janine Butterfly did her Dog Days routine, and I remember crying. I was like, "Oh, it's so good!" 'Cause she was one of my first inspirations, and again, it's interesting to look back and see my style, how when I first started dancing, I moved very much like her.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've definitely ventured off into some mix of, I don't know where I even got all my...
To you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Me.
You've evolved to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny that performance has already been brought up twice. It must
yeah,
be like
it's so good.
It is a very
Yes,
amazing.
just one of the OG pole dancers. So inspirational.
She was having such a good time.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you just feel it.
And that's, I wouldn't even say that that's my style, but it was just so moving.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I think we've covered everything, and thank you again so much for your time, for this beautiful space, and for providing so much value.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
Yay. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of the Aerial Hour. If you want to know more, head over to our show notes page, and don't forget to follow us and like us on Instagram and Facebook. I can't wait to share with you who's coming up next. See you guys later. Bye.
Oh, okay. I think I have something to say now.
That's my life. I think I have something to say now.